Hello everybody, my name is Rida Moinuddin and you're watching Presidency Weekly Sessions with me. Today on our first show, we have Mrs. Bama Suresh with us, who's a great counselor who uses her empathy, compassion, authenticity and respect to form bonds with her clients at Presidency College here. So the topic for today that we all are going through, me, you and you as well, and that is stress. So what actually is stress, ma'am? Can you just brief us with reference to the students you encounter?
Okay, stress as such, not just in particular with students, as such stress is basically a response. It's a bodily response and also an emotional response to a threat which could be real or which could be perceived. Most often it is perceived because you're anticipating something will happen and you're feeling stressed about it. So this is what basically stress in a nutshell is. And as far as students are concerned, stress can be many types. So students of today, particularly students who are in college, school students may not feel that amount of stress, although they do also go through stress, but they are more open to sharing it with their parents. Whereas when students come of age of going into college and maybe even over 18, because this idea of becoming a major is very overstressed. And so when they are over that age, they feel that they have to act a certain way, so they do not believe in sharing things. So students basically have largely, I would say, 5 types of stress I can put it down to. The first one of course is academic stress. So as a student, studying is their main job, so there is a lot of stress academically associated with their studies. Now the second thing could be personal stresses. And the third one could be family, stress to do with family matters and stuff like that. Fourth could be financial stress. And the fifth one, not necessarily maybe the last, it is to do with anxiety about the future, stressing about what will happen to me, what kind of future will play out for me, what will I be like 5 years from now, will it happen, I have certain dreams, these kind of things.
So as you've mentioned the 5 subtypes under stress, let's accept the fact that this generation is actually going through stress a lot.
Yes.
And getting into it, getting to know what these stress are and how to deal with it is really important. This generation needs to be addressed on it. So can you just brief us on the first stress that you spoke about, that's academic stress? What are how does this stress actually erupts from?
Okay, academic stress, like the name itself suggests, is to do with their academic studies. So basically it is study related or anything related with the institution that they are attached to. So most often it's a college. Now there it is, one thing is to do with the study itself, like how easy or difficult the subject is for the person. So again, they will have 6 or 7 subjects. Not everybody is good in everything. So some subject which might stress me out will be a cakewalk for you, and vice versa. So it depends on the subjects that they are comfortable with. Some of them are very comfortable with theory subjects, some of them like the practical part, and some of them don't like numbers. So maths or maths related subjects will be a problem for them. So these kind of things. And other than that, the institutional rules, the kind of discipline they have to maintain, and all those things are also stressors.
Okay, this also comes under academic stress.
They do, yes. See, imagine a student who's staying alone, maybe in a PG or a hostel or something. They have to get to a place at 9 o'clock. And then say they have a rule that 9:05 they're allowed.
Like the way we have it here. 9 it's sharp closed, guys.
Yeah, so up to 9:05 only they're allowed inside the class. Now they have to be necessarily present out there, and as it often happens with students of today, they don't sleep well.
Oh yeah, we don't.
Either they sleep quite late or they sleep very little. So getting up in the morning is a little bit of a stressor. It starts from there. And then they find very little time to get dressed and be relaxed and come to the college. So the stress starts from there itself.
So what are the effects of these academic stress on an individual, precisely a student here?
Okay, this academic, it puts a lot of pressure on them, as in they start getting a mental fog. They think that whatever I study, I'm forgetting everything that I'm studying. I just studied all this, but I can't remember anything. And you know, a kind of panic sets in. And it also is largely related to how they manage time. That's a big elephant in the room, you know, because like say, let us take an example of you have 6 subjects on which you have to give an exam or a test or whatever, or even a simple assignment, and you don't like that subject. You'll keep putting it off till the end.
Yes.
This is a normal tendency. I'm not even blaming just the
hard
students. All of
subject is
us
for
do
the
it.
end of the
Yes,
day.
yes. But ideally speaking, it should come in the beginning. Because when you get a handle over it and you kind of go through it, even if it is little surface level, and then you understand that okay, these areas I can manage and these areas are a little difficult for me, so I need to focus on that. When you go through it a little bit in advance, you feel more relaxed and you don't reach that level of stress.
Okay.
But what happens is we keep putting it off, and then when the deadline is given, your teacher says that if you don't submit it by tomorrow, I'm not taking it, you won't get your internal marks. Now that's a huge stressor.
Yes.
So now I have to put together something and bring it here, and I know I've not done a good job. So that's again, you know, it increases the stress. 1 or 2 notches it goes up. So this is how, you know, we also are partly responsible for how the stress goes up. Time management is a huge thing. You have to, even for that example which I gave you, like getting yourself to the doorstep of your classroom at 9:05, there's time management involved.
Right.
So unless you pay attention to that, you cannot relax.
Right.
So there's a huge part in which you can, you know, ease yourself and not feel so much of stress, because not everything is inevitable.
So what you're trying to tell here, we all students can actually relate, including me. But how do we cope up with this now? How do we cope with academic stress?
Okay, academic stress. To cope with academic stress, one thing is, like the rule goes, you know, like we have in our college, like 75% you're supposed to be in the class. Now this rule sometimes is a you know, there is a bone of contention among students for this. But the thing is, out of 100 classes, 75 you attend. I think 50% of your studies is done. Because when you pay attention in the class to what the teacher is saying, 50% of your preparation is already done.
We have had students who just attend class and
Yes.
don't study and give
Yes.
good job in the
Yes,
exam.
because when you listen to the teacher, she'll give you more than what is there in the textbook. There's a lot of experience she brings into the room, and she will talk through that. There is lots of things in your syllabus, but apart from that, you get to hear and, you know, get it into your system. And if you are not present in the class, you lose out on that.
Yes.
And then it is, the onus lies on you completely for, you know, going through your books
From
or
the
notes or
scratch.
whatever it is.
Yes.
So that becomes, you know, that puts the stress too much on you. So if you plan yourself in such a way that, you know, I'm not saying students should not chill out. Absolutely they should. Because it's a time they should have fun. You know, college life is so nice. You have to look back several decades later on these days, and, you know, which will put a smile on your face. So definitely chilling out, having fun is important. But
Bunking class?
pardon me?
Bunking class?
25% of the time. Yes, you can. 25% of the time you can. But the rest of the time, if you are present in the class, it will do you a good thing.
Yeah.
So planning and time management, plan in such a way that, you know, you are present for your difficult subjects, so that you don't have to stress from your side.
Right, at the end.
Yeah, when you know one subject is difficult for you, attend all the classes in that subject, so that, you know, it helps you to that extent. If it's an easy subject for you, even if you are a little, you know, here and there, it's okay.
Yeah.
So you have to plan yourself, and that's very important, and keep your notes up to date.
Right. A small message to the students out there who are actually going through academic stress on a high parameter.
Okay, I would say begin by planning your days, and that doesn't mean, you know, planning a few months in advance. No, just plan for the week, or even 2 days. Like if you're planning today, this evening, tomorrow and day after, how my day will be and what I will do, and stick to that plan. At least 80%, if you're able to stick to that plan and do according to that plan, I think your stress level will come down to a huge extent.
Small steps.
Yes, small steps. Break it down into small steps, because a month later you really don't know what's going to happen. Your teacher can, you know, change her decision and turn your world upside down. Plan 2-3 days, a week.
Yes.
and stick to it. And when you stick to it, you need to reward yourself, because be a self motivator. You reach your target as per your plan, go treat yourself.
A lot of times I've heard you talk about good study routine. So would you like to tell us something on that now?
Yeah, study routine, especially closer to exams, or even pre-finals or finals, whatever it may be. You need to, again, planning is important there. And there you have to plan your day in such a way that you study one subject which is maybe practical in nature, and another one which is purely theory. So it should be two opposite things which come back to back. So and none of the subjects you should study more than an hour.
Okay.
Because if you are saying that the whole morning I'm going to study one subject, your productivity will not be so good, because the brain has a particular capacity to how long it can be alert to a same type of material. So if you're going to sit for 1 hour and say study or work out maths, I'm just taking an example. So if you think that the morning first thing that you should start with math, you do 1 hour of math, close that book. Next, go to something like English, which is very different, which is lighter also as well as more theoretical oriented. Then do 1 hour of English, and then if you want, you can go back to something similar to math, like say statistics or some other practical subject. That way you'll be effective in every subject, and you will tend to feel that you're covering so much in each subject. And at the end of the day, if you look at your target sheet and what you have achieved, you would have been able to do a reasonably good job and feel proud of yourself. And you also have the confidence that, okay, I can crack it, I can write, I'm prepared. That confidence. So when you get that confidence, automatically stress reduces. So planning your study routine in that way, where you combine the subjects in a very positive manner, where you're able to handle them easily, that is the key actually.
We have learned a lot today about the stress and about academic stress and how to cope with it, the effects of it, and the study routine.
Yes.
So I'm sure our students are going to work on this, and
I hope they do.
We'll get back to you as well on this.
Yes, sure.
So next session we'll be talking about the personal stress, which will come under stress, the second topic again, but next week with the therapist.